My name's Josh. For those of you who know me, you guys may know me through the channel or through CNBC. But today I'm going to take you behind my creative process on how I come up with these episodes on the channel, the whole process behind it, like how do you, just the whole thought process in general. How do I take an idea, distill it down, figure out which ideas are worth doing, and then the whole iterative, grinding away. I describe it kind of like a circular process. Like my creation is not linear. It's more of like a circle. It's a lot of shooting, a lot of editing, a lot of reshooting, a lot of re-editing, and then throwing it away and then bringing it back. So hopefully I will show you a little bit of that in here. So just to kind of prep you, this is my moment to just recycle a ton of material. So I'm just going to be screening a ton of little episodes, and then we're going to be talking about it. And I also have some new stuff that I haven't released yet on the channel, a video I've been working on for the last 2 years. So hopefully that'll be coming out really soon. And I brought a little demonstration up here for after, and we'll be hanging out, talking after, answering some questions as well. So let's go.
All right, let's go full speed. The Insta360 X4 has been out for 6 months now. It shoots 8K 30, 5.7K 60, and 4K 100 in a 360-degree sphere, meaning you can reframe any shot angle you want in post with insane stabilization, so you can get all those over-the-top Instagram reels. But I'm not the least bit interested in that. I just created a digital scan of my entire YouTube studio in like 11 minutes. Oh yeah, this is awesome.
All right, so that's what I do. I make these little videos, and a lot of the process, it takes, gosh, I wish it took me shorter time to make videos. I'm a little bit unapologetic about it now. The video is done when the video is done, and I may be unique in that regard, and I think I did like 7 videos last year, and nobody's really complaining. I know half you guys probably wish I uploaded more. I'm working there. I'm trying. So a little bit of what I also do, before YouTube, I was doing Secret Lives of the Super Rich for CNBC, which is right out here in New Jersey. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth. And we basically got to film the most epic homes in all of the United States and part of the world as well. Like the most expensive homes you can think of, we get to basically go through them.
House tour with
this is a viral video I did like 2 years ago with the Ronin 4D.
Ceilings. Coming in here, this is the great room. Check this out. Breakfast dining here, not the actual dining room. That's this way. In this, 500 bottles of wine.
Can we turn the audio off on the clip for a second? And I'll just narrate. All right, so in this shot right here, what we're looking at is the top one is actually the Insta360 X1. So this is being used as a BTS camera for me, right? And then the top one is the Ronin 4D, and that's like the main one that I use to film these episodes in. And filming the host of the show, he actually is the boss. He's the producer, and only recently we started putting him on camera. Because as you guys know, kind of like cable is going away. CNBC, MSNBC, all these all of these networks are going away. They're having to try to, figure out what's going on. So it's funny. Like I've been shooting for CNBC for about 9 years now, and then I launched a channel about 7 years ago, and it was like this small little thing that I was just doing on my own, and I was kind of double dipping like I am now, where I'm shooting BTS of what I'm doing, and then I'm incorporating it into my YouTube episodes. And now it's like grown to the thing where, the YouTube is full time for me. And now I'm doing this on the side every once in a while when I need some more BTS. I'm like, yeah, I'll fly to Florida and I'll shoot a $70 million home that Cher used to own or whatever. So in this case, we're actually in Boca Raton. This one is a unique one. This is I think it was a $50 million home. It was built by, I think one of the guys that owns one of the original Ferraris, like one of the heirs to Ferrari.
Yo, Josh.
All right, you can turn the volume up.
I'm riding a one-wheel XR Classic through a $55 million house, and I'm going to show you exactly why. guys want to see my filming setup? So check it out. Filming on the Ronin 4D. We have a 9mm super wide lens here. This is the Laowa 9mm. This is what I normally use. Here I got the DJI Mic 2. These are already on Talent. Then I got the Insta360 X4. This is the latest one. And this is my BTS camera and auxiliary camera if we need something else. Got some Sony headphones here, and that's my setup.
I had to convince the guy to let me to ride through the house. I was like, no, I'm not gonna crash into anything. And he legitimately had like, I don't know, 15 or 20 like Ferraris in the garage that I was like, I promise I'm fully insured. I have $1 million liability insurance. I probably should have had more for this house though, to be honest with you. In this case, I'm actually showing the utility of the Insta360 cam because you can change the view, you know, in post. So it's recording 360 around you. So it's got this shot, but in post, I can just manipulate it to point any direction I want. You know, it does some interesting things optically to, you know, like objects that are closer and further away. That is a replica Ferrari. It's fully electronic, and I think it's 140,000. I think around that. It's definitely more than 100,000. Okay, so that's what I do, and then I also do make art now, and a little bit of like how I make my art. So how I make art, I really just try to do what I love, and I try to find it in every video. That's part of the reason why I don't release so many videos. I kind of fall in the camp of like I would rather just do something unique and interesting as opposed to just present the news and the latest camera tech and whatever, you know? I would rather do a thesis than I would give you guys the news. So I think I'm a little bit unique in that regard. The downside is I don't put out that much content, but I feel like the journey has been very rewarding along the way. The other thing I do is I like to leverage those locations. So like I was talking about filming at these super high-end homes, being able to just shoot some sort of BTS and incorporated that in the video. It's so important these days now because everything, like the commodity that we are trading is attention. And so it's like in your normal job, whatever that is, if there's something interesting there that you have a location or an opportunity that can be filmed in your content creation, then I would recommend that because that's basically what has kind of catapulted me up. And it's been authentic too. It's not forced. It's like this is the stuff that I'm legitimately doing, and this is how I do it. And then the last thing is like using story to do these product reviews. The product reviews is kind of what pays the bills, unfortunately. But doing it in a way that feels authentic, where I'm not selling you guys something that I don't believe in, and I'm also not just doing it to sell it. You know what I mean? So I use a lot of story. And then this is something I ripped off from Scott Galloway. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He does a really good podcast, financial stuff. He says, what's my unfair advantage? And so I think about that all the time. Like, I get these opportunities, especially when that voice in your head is like, oh, I don't want to film BTS. I don't want to vlog now. I just want to, like, sit down and relax. I'm like, no, but this is, like, I should be filming this. This is my unfair advantage. I should be leaning into that. All right, so this is a total example of unfair advantage here. So this is Villa Sienna. It's a $172 million property. It's probably the nicest property I've ever filmed. I haven't aired this publicly. I've only aired this once at another convention. But this property, the owner and the architect of this property actually built the house that was featured in Succession. I don't know if you guys watched that. I think it was season 2 where they were in California or whatever. But that house was another house of his that I filmed, and this is the follow-up, and this was just put on the market last year. So there's a lot going on here, but I'll show you guys a little taste. That is a single-piece staircase. That's 3 stories. They don't build staircases like that, so I really wanted to open with that, even if it was just a little teaser. a lot of times when I'm building the sequence, it's always I'm trying to track lighting, you know, so it feels like a journey. Like try to go chronologically along with the light. All right, we can crank this music. This one's supposed to be loud. Here we go. So all of this is shot on the Ronin 4D. There's one shot in here that was shot on the Insta360 X4. And it's kind of what, I would say that is the art in this video of how we got that shot. Dude's got a garage door on the side of the house. I should mention this is the #1 sought-after architect for sure in all of California, probably the United States. His name is Artie Savangarian from Aria Group. And I think that his last house was bought by one of the youngest billionaires, Russell, I forget his last name, but he's like the main investor of like the LiDAR technology used in self-driving cars. All right, we got to crank the volume a little bit here. That one shot is coming. Go. So that was the Insta360 shot. Don't worry, guys. There's only 15 more minutes of this. Guys, I did the math. I did the math. 172 million. If we all pony up like 23,000 each, we can rent it for a night. It's worth it. Anyway, so let's talk about how so yeah, that's a great video. Where's the art? The art in that was a lot of the struggle, trying to, like, I actually shot that over, I think, 3 weeks. trying to find lighting. And you know what's funny is the house before it, I shot that video, which I'm not going to share with you, but it's probably the best video I've done. And that one took me 6 months to shoot because I was tracking lighting. And if I were to reshoot any of that video again, it would be some of those exterior shots in the morning. We shot that in the wrong time of year. I told the developer, I was like, they were under a tight deadline. They needed me to do this in a couple of weeks. And I said, this is the wrong time of year. You need me shooting this in January when there's no marine layer because I need to get up super early. I need to be here at 6 a.m. I need to film that first light cracking, and I need the sky to be absolutely clear. It's too warm here in Bel Air, and you have a marine layer. So a lot of those shots early on were overexposed, and he couldn't understand why it's not looking as good as the other video that I did. And so that's part of the struggle. It's like knowing it well enough, knowing how to find those right lightings. Let's talk about finding a little bit of the solutions. That's the main thing that I love to do in my episodes is just let's find the struggle, then let's find those solutions. And then, of course, documenting the journey and big asterisks, hiding as many fart jokes in there as possible. I'm going to apologize to the ladies here. This is actually a really interesting shot. This is a product I'm going to launch very soon. I'm very excited about it. It's probably flying over your heads right now, but I promise you I will explain it later in the deck. I'll share exactly what it does, okay? So where's the art? The art is this little direction lock right here. Direction lock is how I was able to get that shot going down the stairwell, okay? With the Insta360 X4, well, I'll just show you. This is what direction lock does.
So there's one thing that the Insta360 does extremely well that no other camera I know can do. And to demonstrate it, I've got my power drill. So if we spin it slowly, it should stitch it all together. Let's go medium speed. All right, let's go full speed. Whoa! Whoa!
All right, so there's a limit to that, obviously. But it's a really cool concept because if you were trying to get that shot going down the stairwell like I did, it would be impossible to do that with a GoPro or any other action camera. This is the only camera that I could do it with, and I'll explain right here. So I got a perfect shot for this camera in this house, and I asked Connor to go get a fishing pole.
Fishing pole acquired.
Bro, this is for little kids.
No, it's for Insta360s, little cameras.
Dude. Oh yeah, it's taking it down. So I gotta like pinch the line. Can we turn the volume up just a little bit? Okay, make sure nobody comes down up the stairs, okay? Thank you, Brian. Putting right there. Okay, ready? Bro. 3, 2, 1. So you can see that the stitching happening in real time right there. The camera's actually spinning around, but because we have direction lock, we are forcing the camera in post to look in one direction.
We'll go in slow-mo.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Did it break?
Little sound design in post to get those lights going by. It's still rolling.
Hey! It's good!
Durability test. All right, so here's a little bit of more behind the scenes on how that shot actually works. So you can see the stitching on the edges as it's going around. So this is what the shot would look like if I didn't manipulate it in post and move it. It's actually correcting the change of direction. Because remember, this thing is spinning around. So that's what the shot would look like if I didn't manipulate it in post with keyframes like I did. And well, let's see. And then I guess, so, well, I guess I can't pause it. But you can see that little, I guess you guys got it. We got it. We're moving on. Anyway, let's talk about the brand deals and like, the blend of art and commerce, because I feel like that's pretty much the thing that I struggle with the most is like, how do I be authentic to myself and to you guys? How do I tell an engaging story? How do I deliver the information you guys want about these new products? And the truth is I turn down 90% of the brands that are offered, mostly because they suck. because I don't care about delivering you guys products that are not going to deliver. You know what I mean? I would rather just do something that resonates with me. And there's a lot of creators that are like that, and there's some that don't, but that's just where I land. I really only do videos that inspire something within. You know what I mean? So whatever that is, maybe sometimes it's like, maybe I want something to grow inside me. I want to like challenge myself, do something I haven't done before. And my videos take a while. It's taken me a while to fully accept that and just kind of embrace it. Half of you guys have definitely embraced it, and you know I haven't died if I haven't uploaded a video in 3 months. I'm still here, and that's okay. This is a fun one. I'm not sure why I included this one, but let's talk about it.
What do you think? Do you think it'll stick on the metal vent there?
Oh God.
It's magnetic.
You gotta want it. You gotta want it.
Yeah! Give me a cup of coffee.
Durability test. So before we put this thing up in the air and see if it can handle the blast of an explosive, we're gonna test it on the ground first, which makes the most sense. In my backyard until they call the cops.
I got you a cape. We want to see exactly how far you go. Little tiny M80.
All right. Warning, do not do this unless you're a professional. I am not a professional, but he used to work for NASA. Hit it, Charles.
Fire in the hole!
Still good. Oh, man.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Did you see it shoot into the
Did you
bushes?
see where it went down?
Oh my gosh.
This thing shot up so high. Camera not connected.
All right, we're on the hunt.
Hey, little buddy.
Totally fine. Wow, it flew some distance.
Dude, I'm actually surprised at how durable this is. This took a straight blast right to the face.
I thought it was gonna be cracked.
I thought it was
totally
gonna be, I thought this was gonna be totally gone. Totally fine, it's just a little discolored.
Oh my God, it's on fire!
That was a good one. Durability test, 9.9 out of 10.
So on that last shot, we actually we doused it in gasoline, and that was we staged it. It survived all of that, by the way. So, I don't remember. I think the thought process behind why we did that. Okay, so in that video, I was strapping it to a rocket, some fireworks and some rockets that were going up, and I wanted to see how hard it would be to recover it after the explosion from the rocket. Like, would it be in a million pieces, or would we just have, or would it just be like a land hunt and trying to find it where it landed? And so it survived, and so the next step in this video is putting it into fireworks and rockets as well. So yeah, I mean, that has nothing to do with the product review I did, but it was really fun and it was engaging for 5 minutes, and Insta360 loved it, and it kind of like, I think I just stitched it together and kind of told them the reason why I was doing it, and did it, and it was great. In this case, what that camera did very well was its size. It just was so small you could literally tape it to a firework. And then, well, let me go back. Hold on. There we go. It's okay to meander. This is something I'm like really passionate now, because I watch YouTube and I see half of these videos. It's like they hook you with the thumbnail and the title, and then they deliver on it within the first 30 seconds, and you're like, okay, this is what this episode is about. And then there's got to be something else. Like you have to make it. You got to re-engage somehow. And so a lot of what I'm like focusing on now is like, it's okay to meander. It's okay to like do the weave, you know. and stay FTC compliant as much as possible. This is actually a really good example of that. Sony sent me their television to do a product review on the television. In this case, it's just a very beautiful image. And I pitched them this whole other idea of what I was going to do with it. They said fine. I don't know why they said yes. They shouldn't have, but they did. So I want you to pay attention for that FTC compliance, because it's a great little trick that it's actually working for me.
I built a 360-degree orbiting virtual production studio from a marble orbit and the biggest Sony Bravia LED TV I could find. There's no way this is going to work. There's no way this is... It worked.
So Sony challenged me to use their new Bravia television in my filmmaking process. I'm doing exactly that. As a disclaimer, you're definitely not allowed to put this much weight on the orbit, ever. Under any circumstances, definitely do not.
This is orbit. This is what it looks like normally. You mount it to your ceiling and it makes over-the-top, super cinematic circles. And this is what it looks like when you attach an extra-large Sony Bravia LED TV to the other end of it and play back virtual production plates with the same exact rotational speed as the camera. Now, this episode is sponsored by Sony. They were crazy enough to send me this TV for this experiment, despite my numerous disclaimers of the extreme likelihood I would break it.
Boom, FTC compliant.
We didn't break it.
Right, easy. Doesn't make you feel like I'm just doing a video because I was paid to do it. But listen again.
Massive television, the 98-inch Sony Bravia TV. I don't even need a key light. It's lighting up my face as much as I would normally use. This is my new setup here. I wouldn't change anything about this.
Yeah, you got a monster there?
Hell is this, 85?
98.
98!
But who's measuring?
The pitfalls of having a ridiculously large television. Nobody ever talks about this one.
It's 150 pounds, boys. We can muscle it. Am I on a landing?
Now, because Sony sponsored this video, I want to be clear, this video is not how great this television is. I don't care if you buy it. This video is doing something that I've been meaning to do with the Orbit for a very long time.
The packaging is really nice.
I wouldn't have done the video if Sony wasn't sponsoring it. Honestly, like it's a huge risk. I wouldn't spend $7,000 on television just to orbit around me. So like I needed some sponsorship, but it was an idea that I genuinely wanted to do for a really long time. And so I don't know. I feel weird doing television commercials because that's not what I do I've never done a review on a television. But in this case, it totally worked. I was authentic. I was telling the truth, and I was staying FTC compliant, and I told my audience I don't care if you buy it. And Sony was fine with it. They're totally fine with it. So work with Sony. They're great. All right, so when the creative process gets stale, which happens a lot for me, one of the perks of having ADHD. Number one, lean into mistakes. I don't know, you guys have seen that now. I love it. Like, it's part of the creative process. If you noticed in the last couple of videos, I use a lot of clown music, right, to cue the mistakes happening. A part of me dies when mistakes happen because I am a perfectionist. And so I just have to always remind myself to keep the camera rolling, even when I'm like flush and I'm totally embarrassed. And, you know, I crashed the drone in the mountain, or I rear-ended the camera guy or whatever. Just keep rolling, because I know a week later I'm going to be like, I wish I was rolling. So number two, yep. Number three, that's it. Oh, so this is part of that same episode, by the way.
And 3, 2, 1.
Clown music.
Uh-oh. No, this thing's not working, so it must not have a good contact.
They're touching each other is why.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. No, there's no. Did you bring more starters? Wow! It went into the trees.
Also, in the last 5 years, I've had 2 kids, and I've kind of wrestled with the idea of, like, do I include the kids in my vlog portion? And ultimately, I landed on I will include it, because I think there needs to be more male role models on YouTube, father figures that are doing it the right way and that are kind of leading the charge of, you know, how to be a good parent. So I do it in a way where it's not exploiting them. I'm not trying to make them do anything they don't want to do. And I'm cognizant of their anonymity. So like, I think I will probably stop including them either when they tell me they don't want to do it, or maybe after the age of 10 or 11 when their faces start maturing into the face that they're going to be for the rest of their life. But the thing that I remind myself is that it's okay to get personal, because ultimately you guys are all friends. You guys know me so well, and I feel like it's my duty to kind of let you in a little bit of the good stuff and the bad stuff. So, yeah, I've been, since Arthur and Aura came along, I've been trying to weave more personal stories into these brand videos. And so this is one. This is like one I did last year. This is a power station. Like, how personal can it get? This is a extra large battery bank, you know what I mean? But, so I'll show you the intro, what it does, for those of you guys who don't know this product from DJI.
So DJI released the 13-pound Power Station 1000. It's 1,000 watt hours, capable of charging an M1 MacBook Max 9 times, an iPhone 57 times, or running a large refrigerator for 2 days. It has a 2,200 watt max output, which is more than enough to weld shit together. You can charge it with this, or this. It comes with a very fancy bag. It's got 2 of these, 2 of those, 2 of those. What the hell are those? But most importantly,
all right. So that's the product. How would you weave a personal story in there, and why? And this
Damon,
one,
where the
oops, this one was kind of this actually took me like 3 months to edit, because I knew what I wanted to do with it, but I didn't know how to get there. So let me tell you a little bit of context. We took the power station. We started. The story goes, we started in Los Angeles and we drove across the desert, actually across the United States, from Los Angeles to Ohio, where I live now. And it was because I was having to move the rest of my apartment. We had moved about 3 years ago, and we had the apartment still, and we had stuff there. So we took the power station along with a time machine that I built at Burning Man, which is an art piece. And we wanted to set it up out into in the middle of the desert for one last hurrah before its permanent station in my basement.
Damon, where the hell did you take us?
now Damon is a YouTuber as well and has a budding nature channel chocked full of New Mexican wilderness, his love for identifying snakes, and other things that blow his mind.
Both of these materials were revered by the Native Americans around here for making arrowheads because they would chip predictably if they were hit certain ways.
Damon and I have been friends ever since my last cross-country road trip, and because he's a few years older with kids in college, he's slotted into somewhat the mentor role with some great advice on how to be a better father. The type of advice that I can only digest if it comes from a good friend.
Permanent placement inside my basement in Ohio. All right, so we got 29% battery left. Let's see if it's got enough juice to power the time machine. I have been thoroughly impressed with this trip so far.
So, funny story, the last time I had these walls erected was at Burning Man. We had them powered with a Honda gas generator, and all 1,400 LEDs on each wall drew so much power that the damn generator ran out of gas in the middle of the night. Pretty much every night.
All right, that's not the personal story. That's just, I should have cut it off. Here's the personal story. So Damon, father, mentor, setup kind of guy. This last part in the voiceover, I was going to do the voiceover myself, and then in that talk with Damon, when we were in the desert, we were talking, he's a budding YouTuber, and he was asking me for some advice, and I had asked him, and this was in the episode, I don't know why it wasn't screened here, but I had asked him, did you include the poetic element in your videos, because he's got a very soothing voice, and he does these nature walks, and he identifies snakes, and he identifies lizards, and it's very it's very appealing to people that watch ASMR channels. And so I was like, is there the poetic element? And then it clicked a month later that I needed that poetic element in this video. And so then I was like, well, I should just incorporate Damon. I should revisit that. I should fold Damon into the video as well. So this last little bit is narrated by Damon, and I did it in a way that kind of made sense, at least linearly, with the story.
Hey Josh, it was great seeing you, man. I know you mentioned you were having some difficulty finding a fitting end or a place for the time machine. I got to thinking that maybe you're struggling because the magic it's always represented is now more embodied by your children. Kids are the best time machines. You'll get to see them mirror your traits and your troubles and your triumphs. There's a real magic there. It reminds me of a poem I used to read my boy when he was Arthur's age. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on.
We're gonna scan your thumbprint.
If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch.
Backup power.
If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it.
Whoa, Arthur! Woo!
And which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
At a secret workshop.
As for the time machine itself, I have no doubt that you'll find the best place for it, especially now that you have more than enough backup power to keep it running.
Computer, turn off workshop.
But I suppose that's another story.
That is my least performing video I've ever made, and it's my favorite by far. And I kind of like it that it's the least performing because it's a gem. You know what I mean? It's like, anyway, I'm so glad that I did that because as a father, I get to see my kids grow up, and every time I make a video that includes them, even in a small way, it's like a snapshot of the voice and the time. This, like this precious time that I have. So. Yeah, power station. You know what I'm saying? Battery, and half you guys are crying out there. Always make time for shenanigans,
So my buddy Michael Tobin is here to borrow my camera. It's actually B&H's Ursa 12K. You can borrow the camera. You have to help me film one thing with it because I'm not done with it. It'll be like 5 minutes, okay? Okay. Come on. Here it is, dude. Here you go. But wow. I need to film one thing with it, okay?
This episode is for the suction cups
by the way.
From Tilta.
Multi-functioning bracket, so you can hook like anything up on there.
These are electronic suction cups that will just keep sucking out air. They're actually kind of incredible.
Boom. These will spider out.
Earlier in this episode, I was talking about how they were sticking against cement, which is kind of unheard of for a suction cup to work against cement. Two. That's drywall.
4. All right, so they're all stuck, and they're all losing a little bit of suction, and then they kick back on as they need more suction. So let's see how much weight it can hold. Oh, whoa, whoa, dude. What the hell? We just need to have some way to connect. This episode's been brought to you by B&H. B&H loaned me this camera. The practicality of like putting a 30 or 40 pound light is what we're after. We want to see, can you stick something against the wall
for like an hour. That's not supposed to go there. I get all of my gear from B&H. As a ambassador of B&H, they'll loan me something for like, 30 days or whatever. This is my B&H review. Ursa Cinema 12K. $5,000 lens, $1,000 battery, $15,000 camera, LiDAR unit. That's like 22 grand.
There's no crash pad down there.
What do you think, dude?
That's terrifying, but very impressive.
All right, Michael.
Yeah.
Bye. Stuck, dude. Suction cups have 10% battery. This is Jigsaw. Whoa, whoa, dude. Enjoy the camera, buddy. See you later.
You're a terrible friend.
Poor Michael Tobin just wanted to borrow the camera. All right, so when it doesn't go as planned, keep the camera rolling. So this is actually interesting. This is like my favorite story, actually. So recently, I've been doing this whole interview series with the help and sponsorship of DJI for the Ronin 4D. And so I've been able to interview some directors and some DPs. I have one coming up with the DP of Warfare, potentially Alex Garland as well, and then also the DP of Adolescence. But this one in particular is one I did with Mel Gibson for his movie Flight Risk. I'm not sure if you guys watched it. But this is a hilarious story. So the story goes that Mel Gibson essentially borrowed the Ronin 4D on set, or DJI provided Ronin 4D support on set, and they had used it for a couple of sequences in the movie. But the real crux of it was the DP's camera that they had, and the main shot, the chopper shot that they needed. They couldn't get the gimbal and camera to balance and work right on the I guess it was a shot over a Cineflex or something, and they couldn't get the chopper airborne. Okay, so Mel Gibson is like, well, let's grab the DJI, let's get in the truck, and we'll chase the plane down the runway. And so he's telling me this story. He's told us the story several times to DJI handlers. So I'm like, let's get that on camera. So we get it on camera. We get the whole story about how he gets the stunt guy to hop in the back with the DP, and he's driving his own truck in the middle of the Sierra Nevada, airport, and he's barreling down, chasing this plane to get the shot. It's the last shot of the night, and they're losing light. I edited it into the sequence. I have drawings. I have it all mapped out. It goes to Mel Gibson's team, and they're like, yeah, we can't screen that. Wait, what? This is the main story of this is the whole interview. Like this is the thing. And so I didn't know what to do, because without that part we had nothing. And so they were like, yeah, we just got to cut it out. And so I was like, well, what if I told that story in a way that made it a little bit more ambiguous, so that you're not the one saying it? And so this is what I landed with.
So while it seems the use case for the Ronin 4D was considerably less for Flight Risk than it was for Civil War, there was a particularly interesting section where the Ronin 4D literally saved the day and became the A camera.
We had an experience on this shoot where it became our primary camera. We had limited time because I wanted the sky to be just dusky, and we had like 2 days planned where we would shoot this sequence of landing and the plane crash. Literally, we had 90 minutes each day. So we planned it out all day so we'd hit that 90 minutes and get it. So the first night we're up, and it's like, ooh, the sun's just getting right. The helicopter, the camera, the shutter gets stuck close. Nothing works. And we're boned.
It was supposed to be done on a helicopter?
The way it was set up was it was supposed to be air to air. And it made me a little uncomfortable because I was like, we gotta have something else, like some sort of chase vehicle. So I brought this on my own.
This is your...
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't technically on the production, but I was like, I'm not gonna take a chance of not having something should something go wrong. And unfortunately,
something went wrong.
The iris forced closed, and they couldn't get the iris open on the camera. And when you're rigged up on the helicopter, to get that thing de-rigged and figure out what the problem was.
Yeah.
And we had a 90-minute window to shoot because of the light. And we got nothing. And I said, what do we got? And he said, we got the DJI. I said, we don't have a camera truck.
Now, they didn't have any BTS for this day, and it's a little unclear how they exactly pulled this off. So I've added my own artistic license.
Go to the left. I hear you, Riggs. You're 6 o'clock. I got you, Riggs. Riggs. I got you, Riggs. I hear you, Riggs. No, you're on the left. No.
Yep, that's exactly how it happened.
You want to kill yourself? I got the job done. What the hell do you want?
I mean, it's Martin Riggs we're talking about. Who's to say this didn't happen?
All right. So I think I'm out of time, but I have a couple more slides. So what are we doing there? Can I just go over and then answer questions outside? I don't know. Maybe 5? Yeah? And get 5 minutes? Let's put 5 minutes on the clock. And then I'll answer all your questions outside. Okay? If you guys have any questions, we'll do it. All right, cool. We're going to fly through this. All right, so following the obsession to wherever it leads, lately I've been into 3D CADing and 3D modeling and designing, making parts that I can sell or help or, you know, whatever, like new camera parts. And so one of them is with this drone
is
right
my
here.
$20,000 8K cinema drone. And what's special about it is we've made a custom counterweight system so that we can fly this lens. This is the Laowa Nanomorph 1.5 stretch anamorphic lens. It's one of 6 anamorphic lenses that can now be flown on the Inspire 3. But this episode isn't about this lens. It's also about this one too. And this lens. And because DJI only makes 4 or 5 lenses that can fly on the Inspire 3, I figure if I just learn how to make some adapters, then I could fly like wide-angle lenses, super fast lenses, telephoto lenses, a whole lot of lenses. This lens, these lenses. When I first started this endeavor, I theorized I could probably fly about 50 to 75 third-party lenses, but now that I've gone through the whole gamut and back, I estimate it's closer to 400 to 500.
50 millimeter f095. This is 8 times brighter than the fastest DJI lens.
Now this episode is 2 years in the making. It's forced me outside of my comfort zone, doing things that I've never done before, like CADing and 3D printing. Now why would anyone risk their $20,000 drone doing this? Because if I didn't do it, who else would? In this episode, we're going to explore the counterweight system that I'm selling on my website, also the lenses and the mounts that can be flown, lenses that are extremely wide, lenses that are exceptional in low light, and lenses that took me over 1.5 years to finally crack.
All right, that
Yo,
last...
it's been a while. We finally did it. I'm talking to you right now on the Inspire 3.
All right, I'm going to cruise past that one. So that last...
So this is...
Here, this is the one I want to show you. So this is an adapter I made for
So the MD adapter, also
Minolta.
known as a Minolta SR adapter, is one I specifically made for the 250 millimeter rocker reflex lens. Now there are a ton of other Minolta lenses with a lot of character that could be flown on this as well. But for this video, I'm just going to focus on this one lens because in my opinion, it's the shit. So this 250 millimeter Minolta rocker is a vintage lens from the 80s. I think you can get it used on eBay for about $1,000 and it's shaped like a telescope and it has a strange donut bokeh because of the reflex optical design. But because of this, it's extremely compact and might be one of the smallest, lightest lenses with the longest focal length that can be balanced and flown on the Inspire 3. Now, there's a huge asterisk next to this lens because I've been trying to fly this lens for over 1 year now, and as you can see, it's been fraught with a ton of unusable vibration. And I tried everything, every sort of configuration of counterweight, auto-tuning, the gimbal, literally nothing worked. And then, lo and behold, DJI released the latest firmware update in January 2024, and it added extra strength to the gimbal. So all of those unusable vibrations are now gone. Though,
all right, so we're going to revisit back to that house that we shot. This is the front courtyard, if you remember. Now we're flying above it a little bit with the Inspire 3 with this drones using a 250 millimeter vintage lens. That lens is 60 years old. It's $1,000. And it's by far the most telephoto lens that I've ever been able to balance on there. It's 250 millimeters. And to give a perspective, the longest lens that DJI has for this drone is currently 75 millimeters. So the optics on it are just a little insane.
So this is another video on the 250 millimeter Minolta rocker on the Inspire 3. Guys, this lens is blowing my mind. Check out how tight this is when compared to the FPV shot. Here, we're actually gonna shoot at 4K 120 frames per second, and I set focus on the car on the ground, and then we're shooting through this waterfall.
See that donut bokeh?
Just look at this interesting donut bokeh you get. It's really quite
Now this is full
bizarre.
speed.
So this is it being played back 5 times fast, so you can see that it is vibration free. And now look at it in the 4K 120. It's like, I mean, this lens is just incredible. There's so much color and there's so much three-dimensional pop and beauty. Like the bokeh is very pleasing when you're shooting through things. It's incredible. It's incredibly sharp, and the colors out of this thing.
I mean, we're shooting
unreal.
through trees.
All of these shots are with the drone flying, like on the ground. This is a whole new level of cinematography I've never experienced before. A long lens tripod that floats in the sky and can be positioned in any position and can give you this amazing parallax. And what's crazy is this lens is so sharp.
All right.
I'm flying the Sue.
This just goes on and on and on. Anyway, this is the last one I have. This is up here, if you guys want to take a look at it. This is a 5.2 millimeter dual Canon lens, and I adapted it to fly on here. I had to figure out the flange distance and make a whole component part, yada, yada. But essentially, it shows it can now fly spatial drone. It's the first spatial drone. Like, nobody would use this. Nobody wants this except for James Cameron. He actually does want this. And this is what it looks like. And this is the last slide. So you would stitch this in post, and then basically you wear Apple Vision, headset or Oculus Quest 2 or 3, and if objects are close to you, then you get that three-dimensional spatial reality. It's kind of it's a little over the top for drone applications, but that's it. That's it. Thank you, guys.